everyone, I'm Savannah and this is Uniscent. We are all about fragrances. We do fragrance reviews, hauls, comparisons, designer, niche, and Middle Eastern fragrances. Today, I'll be comparing Devotion Eau de Parfum and Devotion Eau de Parfum Intense. If this sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing and turn that post notifications on. Personally, I prefer the new bottle to the old one. I prefer the color of the new bottle, but they are both beautiful bottles and I love the embellishment on the bottle as well. It's very, very elegant. So I'll put the notes up on the screen so you can see them. If we look at the notes of the EDP, we have in the top candied lemon, in the mid panna cotta, orange blossom, and rum, and in the base we have vanilla. In Devotion EDP Intense, we have in the top hazelnut, in the mid orange blossom, and in the base vanilla. So the difference in the notes is definitely the hazelnut and the candied orange. So if we look at the opening of both fragrances, the opening of the EDP is definitely got that candied lemon at the top. It's definitely quite sweet. It's quite sharp. It's very gourmand, but it's a little bit too sweet for me, even though I'm a sweet lover. It's a little bit too sweet for me. The opening of the EDP Intense is definitely quite different to the original EDP. So the hazelnut comes through very, very strong. It's a lot less citrusy, and I love the fact that the hazelnut comes through. I love hazelnut, so the fragrance note is very nice in that fragrance. To me, it feels like a bowl of hazelnuts in front of you that you're just sniffing. So I love that. But it's a lot less citrusy. It's also very sweet, but it's not as sharp. It's also gourmand, very much leaning gourmand, but for me, it's just not quite as sweet and as sharp as the EDP. The EDP, the lemon, the candied lemon is a little bit too much for me. The dry down of the EDP is very sweet and vanillic, but not overwhelmingly vanillic. It is vanillic though. The orange blossom comes through, and the rum also in the dry down is quite smooth. The dry down is quite smooth of the EDP. I didn't expect it when I smelt it, but it actually, from the sharp lemony vibe that it gives in the opening, it definitely smooths out in the dry down, and the rum comes through quite nicely in the dry down. There's also a warmness, and it's not ambery though. It's just a warmth that comes through, and it's really, really lovely. The longevity and projection is pretty good on this fragrance. You get about 8 to 10 hours longevity with moderate to strong projection. So overall, it is a really nice fragrance. To me, I just find it a little bit too sweet in the opening, so I prefer the EDP Intense. So the EDP Intense dry down is definitely more hazelnut than anything else. So it's hazelnut and vanillic, but I do get florals coming through as well. So it's a little bit different to the original EDP. So it's still sweet and it is gourmand, but there is a floral aspect that comes through as well. Overall, it's quite a smooth fragrance. It is sweet, but it gives me, when I smell it, it gives me a velvety kind of sensation almost. That's just what I get when I smell it. It gives me this velvety sensation. But the projection on this is also really good. It's a moderate to strong projection, leaning more strong than moderate. And you also get about 8 to 10 hours, sometimes more than 10 hours if you overspray quite a bit. But both of them are lovely fragrances. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the EDP Intense. So season-wise for both of these fragrances, I would say that they're suitable for all year round. Maybe in the peak of summer, not the middle of the day, peak hot summer day, but definitely in the evenings in summer, I think that you can pull it off. I really, really love the Intense. I am planning on getting the Intense at some point, but I'll definitely get the Intense version. But overall, they are both quite smooth in the dry down. They're both sweet. They're both gourmand. The EDP Intense just has a hazelnut to it, where the EDP has candied lemon instead of hazelnuts. So that's the main difference between the two fragrances. But they do have the same kind of baseline fragrance scent and fragrance profile. So it does have that underlying DNA that is the same between both of them. I would recommend both fragrances, but for me, the EDP Intense is slightly more complex to my nose. It's not a complex fragrance, but it is slightly more complex to my nose, so I would recommend that slightly more. Also because I enjoy that fragrance a little bit more. But both of them are really good fragrances. They have really good projection, really good longevity, and they're both really nice fragrances. So I would recommend both of them. So that's the end of this review. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this helpful, please click that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Please also let me know what other new fragrances you'd like me to review. See you soon. Bye!